Welcome, everyone. Glad you're with us this evening in person and online. We are going to begin with the words of Hine Matov on the top of 128. Hine Matov Umana Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umana Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanahim 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 Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Yadada Yadada Yadada. Hine Matov Yadada Yadada Yadada. Hine Matov Umanahim Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov Umanahim Shabbat Ahim Gam Yachad. Continue right below with Maya Fe Hayom. How lovely today is. Maya Fe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fe Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We turn back to 120 as we light the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, instilling in us the holiness of mitzvot by commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. And together we say, Amen. Amen. We read together on the top of 124. We entered the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, Let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We continue together on 138 and 139 with Lecha Dodi. We welcome the Sabbath bride, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekadela. Lecha Dodi, kala, b'nei Shabbat nekadela. Shemor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el Adonai, Shemo echad. Hashem oti parek kaliti la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lehu v'necha, ki mekor havaracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Tukma aseh v'mashavati la 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 lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Toreri, kiva orei, uri, daveri, kavod anai, la la la, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We rise and face the entrance as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Bo'i v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzona, tov yam segula, bo'i kala, bo'i. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. You may be seated. We continue with Mizmor Shir, Psalm 92 on the top of 140. Mizmor Shir liyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid b'chastecha, ve'elcha b'leilot. Ale Yasur Le'ale Nadel Ale Gayon Bechino Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat Tov Ehodot La'Adonai Lezamer l'shimcha elyon, lezamer l'shimcha elyon. Yizamachtani Adonai b'kol lecha, b'maaseh yadecha aranei. Ma gadlu ma'asecha Adonai me'od ha'amku machshevotecha. Mizmor Shir liyom HaShabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. We're going to continue together on the following page, 142. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Baruni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Mi-melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Me. We turn the page as we join together in the Chatzi Kaddish, marking this transition from our Psalms and songs of Kabbalat Shabbat into the Ma'ariv service. Yitgadol v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yibrach v'rutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chol ha'yechonu yomechon, u'chayedechu beit Yisrael, ba'ala u'bizman ha'ariv v'yimeru Yeheshmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam Le'amaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yidkar V'yishama V'yidnaser V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalav Shmenu Shavriku Le'ba Mikol Birchata V'shirata to Shvechata Mata Dani Rande Alma Bimeru Amen. Realizing that my camera is not starting. We continue together with the words on the screen, Am I awake, as we rise in body, Holy Spirit. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Do you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yadada, 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 Baruch et Adonai, HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai, HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yadada. Continue in the English on 148 together. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ari, Arachim. Middle of 150. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Continue together with the words of Shema 152 and 153. Watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Continue with Ve'ahavta 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levav bechol nafshecha bechol me'atecha ve'hayu ha'dvarim ha'eleh asher anuchi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinanta Vidivarta Vishiteha Vedanta Ublakta Vatevet Ushokvecha Unaha Ukshartam Leot Ayadaka Vehayulatako Venenaha Uchtaptam Amzizo Betaka Ubi Sharat Leman Tiskeru Vasitanek Omitzvotai Vitam Kedoshim Leloheka Ahani Adonai Asher Hosei Tiakim Me'eretz Mitzrayim V'yolahem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohim. You read responsibly in the middle of 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory, and earth reveal you justice. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. fired by conflict and insurrected by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice at Israel Day, singing on the shores of the sea. We continue with the words of me, Homoka on 158. Norate hilo o se fele, norate hilo o se fele. Mahut echara uvanecha, okei ayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, ze Elianu ve'amru. Adonai imo leolam va'ed. Adonai imo leolam. Thus the descendant Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Pray together on the top of 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts. We will lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, Aparei Sukkot Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim. Continue on the top of 162 with the words of Ishamru. Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et Shabbat La'asot et Shabbat Le'adorot Beridol Vishamru Bnei Yisrael et Shabbat La'asot et Shabbat Le'adorot Beridol Beini u'beini Yisrael Yisrael Oti le'olam V'shamru B'nei Yisrael et Shabbat La'asot et Shabbat Le'adorot Beridol Yisheshet Yamim Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat le'adorot beridol u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinavash, Shabbat vayinavash, Shabbat vayinavash, v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et hashabat la'asot et hashabat le'adorot beridol. Continue together with the words of the Amidah. We chant pages 164 through 170. Please rise in body or spirit. Adonai, Sifotati Tom, Tilata, Adonai, open up my lips, Baruch atah Adonai, hello, Bezocher kasero bimamo, maybe hula ibne le machimo liama, mele kozer machia martin, baru kata Adonai, there's rocks. Atari borle Mechayeva Koatavara Moshiach, Mashiach, Umari Hadashem, Mechakel Chayim Bechesel, Mechayim Koler Rachamina, Tomen Nobli Berofen Kolim, Umatirasi. No make I never me shame me come I'll give the road who needs no man lift me to make I who loves me and Yeshua the name of that's on the radio top home. Baruch atah kadosh v'shemcha kadosh kadoshim b'kol yom ya'aleh v'selah Baruch atah You may be seated. We continue together on the top of 173. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. May this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat. Top 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion, restored in all lands. You are our God, and alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odecha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Middle of 177. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us, we mortals that you take note of us? You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'cha na'eh lehotov. Continue on 178 with Shalom Rav, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav. Tasbih. Shalom. Level shalom, shalom, as I'm calling you, before Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, Ambarech etamo Yisrael. Bashalom. Take a moment for silent prayer. The words of 180 and 181, the words of your hearts. Oh, say shalom, shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Le'ol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Le'ol Yisrael. Turn together to page 371. Middle of 371. So our thoughts turn to those in our family, in our community, in our world who are in need of healing, body, of mind, or spirit. If there's someone you're thinking of and would like to share their name aloud or in the chat, please feel free to do so.
Irene Parsons, Vivian Kramer, Michael Stone, and Bob Aronson.
Dennis Linderman, Iris Kamer, Al Berman, Maurice Berman, Allison Solomon, Lori Selznick, Randy Lagradich, Ron Shubat, Robert Woodruff, Steve Edwards, Linwood Jennings. We join together in the middle of the page, holding all those named and unnamed in our hearts. Me shall The source of strength, who was once before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives unsafe. Let us say, Amen. We shall be with Rehuah Shema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Avram, Adonai said to Abram, Lech lecha me'artzecha u'memlachtecha u'mibeit avecha. Go forth from your native land and from your father's house, el haaretz asher arecha, the land that I will show you. Ve'esacha legoy gadol, I will make of you a great nation. Ve'avarecha, and I will bless you. Ve'agadal shemecha, I will make your name great. V'hayeh bracha, and you shall be a blessing. V'avarecha, and I will bless those who bless you. Umkalechecha aor, and curse the one who curses you. V'nivrachu b'cha, and all the families of the earth, kol mishpachot ha'adamah, shall bless themselves by you. When I read these words, when I hear these words, I think of the yirah, the awe that Abram must have felt in this moment. The complete awe, shock, wonder at God speaking to me, of directing me on a path I had never considered. I find myself, as I read these words, not only in awe of God, but in awe of Abram in this moment. There have been a number of moments in which I have been in awe in my life, and I hope many in which each of you have been in awe. Being in awe reminds us that we are but a tiny speck in the universe, a speck, and yet the world will be lacking if each one of us is not present. The story of Abram, who becomes Abraham at the end of this week's Parsha, is a story of experiencing awe, falling away into everyday experiences, and being pulled back into awe again. Abram experiences God's call and then stops twice upon his way to build altars to God. Then Abram experiences famine in the land, which sends him and Sarai, his wife, into Egypt, where Abram has Sarai pretend to be his sister and not his wife. This causes trouble once Pharaoh takes her as a wife and God sends plagues upon Pharaoh, which really doesn't seem fair. Pharaoh then sends Abram and Sarai along with many riches on their way, and they worship again to God. At this point, Lot, Abram's nephew, notes the land cannot sustain both of their families and animals, and they separate in order to survive and thrive, which is then followed again by Abram hearing from God, experiencing awe. But Adonai Amar el Avram, Aharei hipared Lot me'imo. And God said to Abram after Lot had parted from him, Samna, Enecha, or raise your eyes and look out. Min hamakom asher atasham, from where you are, Zephona, Benegba, Bekedma, Bayama. to the north and south, to the east and west. Ki et kol haaretz asher ata ro'eh lecha et nehna, for I give all the land that you see to you, ulzaraha ad olam, and your offspring forever. V'samti et zaraha ka'afar haaretz, I will make your offspring as the dust of the earth. Asher im yuchal ish limnot et afar haaretz, so that if one can count the dust of the earth, gam zaracha yimaneh, then your offspring too can be counted. Kum hithalech ba'aretz, up, walk about the land, la'arka ulrachba, through its length and its breadth, hilacha et nena, for I give it to you. Vayehal Avram vayavo vayeshev be'elone Mamre Asher beHebron. And Abram moved his tent and came to dwell at the terebinths of Mamre, which are in Hebron. V'yiven sham mizbeach la'Adonai, and he built an altar there to Adonai. And these words are only the conclusion to the triennial section of the parsha, the first third of this week's parsha, this week's portion. Yet the message of moving in and out of Yirah, in and out of awe, continues throughout Abram's story. He is one of the lucky ones who gets to experience God's words and God's blessing over and over again. We do not always have the privilege of hearing God's voice directly. More often than not, we only hear the voice inside of ourselves. But if we believe deep down that we are all made in God's image, then it is our soul, our inner essence, that is speaking to us. The part of us that comes from God. If that is the case, if our soul is where our conscience lives, then we too experience God's direction at many times in our lives. Next time you experience awe, whether it's a voice inside, an experience in nature, interacting with another person, take the time to feel the full experience. Take a moment to breathe, to listen, feel, to know that you have been changed through your experience of awe, just as our forefather Abram was changed by his experiences of awe. Shabbat shalom. We're going to continue together on the bottom of page 586, and the top of 588. We rise in body or spirit. Aleinu l'shaber ha'adon ha'hu, la'teku ha'alim separation, shalom ha'ratzon, limbos, bishvet adama, Shelos al-Chakenu kahem, ve'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shelubnat hashamayim ve'yosed haaretz, u'mashav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinat izo, ve'go'im ne'rom, u'eloheinu eloheinu, eloheinu eloheinu, Top of 591, we continue together. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love of each of us, the peace we bring to others. May our needs exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand to conquer fear, doubt, and despair. Rise up like the Son of God for all of humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe to the joy and fullness of freedom and of peace. You may be seated. Bottom of 595. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their lights long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved, their memories keep shining ever brightly, till their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We especially remember the Yardzites, Hortense Barco, Norbert Ernst, Alvin Paul Gaines, Martin Gall, Rose Gardner, Flora Goldfarb, Ernst Hartenstein, Jane Wise Hill, James B. Hill, Dorothy Ziering Kagan, Stuart Katz, Tilda Whitman King, Steve Klein, Alan Land, Richard Lark Lincoln, Shirley Layson, Daniel Levy, Michael Milner, Arthur William Persky, Robin Persky Kessler, Marvin Ratner, Annette Trayman Robb, Henry Rosenberg, Molly Satok, Rabbi Simon Shoup, Calvin Simon, Bernard Sussman, Ernst Jerome Weiss, Nora Wise, and Charles J. Zeman. Additions or corrections?
You see. Yes.
We rise in body or spirit on page 598 for the mourner's cut. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shene, Rafa, Me'alma, Dibra, Yurte, Biali, Malte, Vechaye Hon, Aviole Hon, Uchaye, Kol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Nisran, Kareem, Beimru, Amen. Yehe Shme Rabba Mevarach Leolam Lome Onaya. Yitbarach, Be Shabbat, Be Ta'ar, Be Trama, Be Nase, Be Tadar, Be Tale, Be Talal, Sheme Prisha, Breaking. Le'ila Min Kol Birchata B'Shirata, Tushbechata Lenechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma Bimru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rama Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Bimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramal, Uya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Bimru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. Some announcements. Tomorrow morning services are at 10 a.m. and core study at 11:30 a.m. Both are in person and on Zoom. A note that both of tomorrow night's activities have been canceled, Israeli dancing and Havdalah, but we hope to see you at the next two scheduled times. There is religious school on Sunday. Monday at 7 is part 1 of my thoughtful aging class, in person as well as on Zoom. If you haven't signed up and you'd like to, please send me an email and we'd love to have you. Tuesday at 7 p.m. there is a green tea meeting on Zoom. Wednesday at noon is part 2 of our lunch and learn, here in person and on Zoom. Wednesday night, there's a member connections meeting on Zoom at 7, and at 7:30, sponsored by a different congregation, but if you'd like to join, Wednesday is November 9th, which is the anniversary of Kristallnacht. And another small congregation has invited us to participate. They're doing a showing of a documentary piece, followed by a Q&A actually with the woman in the documentary, Frida. So registration information for the Zoom has been going out in our emails and is on the calendar as well. Thursday at 7 p.m. is a Heber Kadisha meeting, and if you have questions, Gary is here. Friday services at 7, and just a note that Friday the 18th, which I realize is in a couple of weeks, but we have joint services at Congregation of Moses at 5:30, followed by vegetarian potluck. We hope you'll join us there for something different and food, always good. So, with it being Parshat Lech Lecha, we are going to sing Debbie Friedman's Lechi Lach, which can be found on page 645, 645 at the top. Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not. Lech Lecha, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi Lach, Lechi Lach, and I shall make your name Lech Lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi Lach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechi lach. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Glad you joined us this evening.
Right. This is what we've had. It's over a minute.